So Andre, last week, as you know, Chevy announced the new Colorado.
Yes.
But we had to wait for the other shoe to drop, and it just dropped.
This is it. So they are teasing again in a very, very clear way the upcoming all-new 2023 GMC Canyon, and this is their most off-road worthy edition of it.
So here's what we know, and we can talk about a lot of the things that we can guess at, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what we know is that August 11th, this is going to drop officially.
Yes, the brand new Canyon.
Yep. But because the Canyon and the Colorado are twins,
Yes.
all this notes that we have for the Colorado, I'm guessing probably apply to the Canyon. But before we get to the notes and talk about what the Canyon might have,
Yes.
let's show them where they tested it.
So they're talking about this AT4X, which is their top of the line, top dog truck. They teased this image. I took the liberty to actually kind of mirror it.
That's
and
cool.
Do my own thing with it. So this is not exactly what it will look like. It's not going to look like a little Hummer.
You widened it, apparently.
Sorry. Well, it was a weird angle of the images. So, but this is the actual thing that they gave us. What do you think about the styling? Because I think it's like interlocking shapes. That's kind of cool.
You know, GM has gone with this kind of fist into the wind look, right? It's very angular, it's very bold, and when it first came out, especially on the heavy duty, people were not very pleased. They thought it looked, almost like cartoonish, but over time, especially now when I look at the Silverado and I look at the heavy duties with that design language on the road, I like it, I mean, it really is bold and you really notice it.
Yeah, and this is they actually said this. We're not guessing. This is the AT4X Edition 1. So this is going to be one of the first editions that we'll be selling, and it's going to be the most expensive, the most luxurious, the most capable. So that's kind of what they're coming out with.
I'm betting when the square body first came out, people were like, "Oh my God, the thing's just too damn square," and now everybody wants them.
Yes,
it's crazy.
They're one of the most valuable things ever.
Show them where they tested it.
Yeah. So let's take a look a little bit more. So they did say they were very serious about off-roading, and they're showing it in Moab, Utah, right here. This is a little kind of a GIF image that they published.
We see recovery hooks.
Definitely, and
That's
we see some skid plating,
and we see some trail lights or fog lights, whatever
like
you want to call those.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and we see a skid plate, I think.
For sure,
Yeah.
and really great approach angles, right?
I'm pretty beefy AT tires.
Yeah. So we can now take some guesses, can't we?
All right. Yeah. So let's talk about the notes that we have here from the Colorado.
Yeah.
And I think the most important thing that we can talk about are three things, right? Powertrain, the configuration, and then, of course, the most off-road worthy of the different models. So let's start with the powertrain. So what the Colorado did, as you know, is they dropped the Duramax, baby Duramax.
Yeah, the 2.8 is gone.
Yeah, they also dropped the 3.6.
Yes.
And they took the 2.7-liter turbo that is available currently in the Silverado, and they detuned it to 3 different outputs. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so that's an interesting strategy.
Yeah.
But turbocharging is the name of the game these days, right? The Ford Ranger has a turbo engine. The next Tacoma is rumored to have a turbocharged engine. So they created the base engine, which is kind of going to be in their LT and work trucks for Colorado with a power rating of 237 horsepower and 259 pound-feet of torque, and made it to an 8-speed automatic. So they're using 8-speed across the board. I was really surprised by that, by the way, because I was hoping and really I was looking forward to the 10-speed.
Yeah, people weren't too happy about that because the 8-speed, quite frankly, has a horrible reputation for unreliability.
Well, they said it's the second generation, so we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to test it, right? We can't speak right now about it because we haven't driven the new Colorado. So, of course, we'll be testing it.
And once again, we're talking about the Colorado here.
Yes.
We're just assuming that the sister or brother truck, which is the Canyon, is going to have the same powertrain.
Yeah, and this has been true in the past,
Yes.
right? They've shared engines before, they've shared power ratings before,
Yes.
they've shared fuel efficiency before. So this is fairly good bet, but this is our guess, right? Then they have something Turbo Plus, they call it Turbo Plus. So they raise the output of that 2.7-liter turbo to 310 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque. The Colorado has a new trail bus, which is kind of its own trim now, right? It used to be a little package.
I did the original video,
Yeah.
and you reminded me that the Trail Bus has been around, and you're right, it was a sticker package, but now it's become more of a
its
off-road.
own truck,
Yeah.
right? Which is a great thing because now Ford has the Tremor Ranger, right? And of course, Toyota has their TRD Pro and TRD off-road trucks. And then the top of the line ZR2 Desert Boss, which is what this is, with a push bar in the front and a sports bar in the back and the lights and everything else and the skid plates. I think this is what the Canyon might be like.
Yeah, I think that this ZR2 Desert Boss,
Yeah.
right, is what is going to become eventually. Let's go back down and show the picture.
This could basically be what this is.
Yeah, in GMC form.
Yeah, and then what generally GMC does, and you can kind of see a glimpse of the interior with the headrest, they have nicer materials in the inside, right? They have slightly different design. They're using different trims, and they're making it more premium, right?
Will this be the Denali version, maybe? I mean, they're trying to raise that.
I think there will be a
Trim
Denali
level,
version
yeah.
because they've had a Denali Canyon before.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to go after the off-road angle and of course the luxury angle.
Now, Andre, as you know, the other thing they did with the Colorado is they basically trimmed down the bed length and the cab configuration.
That's really upsetting to me.
A lot of people, especially the work truck group out there, is
Yeah,
not
and the
happy.
fleet guys, work guys,
are not
and
happy
gals.
with the fact that you only have a short bed basically in a midsize truck.
Yeah, so I think what GM is going after, with the Colorado at least, is they're going after that sporty kind of outdoorsy person, right? Because they're giving them 4 doors, crew cab, a short bed. But dude, what about that person who wants to work with their truck every day? Have a longer bed, 6-foot bed, 6.5-foot bed or something like that. So
Yeah, it's going to be tough. The best guess I could make is that this is going to be the last generation of normally aspirated internal combustion engines. And like with the Silverado, what they're doing is they're preparing us for an electrified version, which will probably not have a lot of different bed options. That's just my best guess.
But so if you do want the work truck, I would say step up to the full-size truck, right?
Yeah.
Because Sierra and the Silverado have 8-foot beds, kind of work truck orientations. So you're going to have to step up.
What about the tow rating? What's the tow rating on the Colorado?
So up to 7,700 pounds.
Yeah.
And actually the most off-road versions, like the ZR2, about 6,000. And the work truck, they kind of neutered. At
That's weird.
3,500 pounds.
Yeah, 3,500 pounds, and this is once again the Colorado, but it could apply to the GMC, and probably will apply to the GMC.
Yeah.
Seems odd that you would have the truck that does the most towing have the least...
Most often
have the least tow rating. That could be a strategy to get people to go up to the
Step
next...
up, yeah.
I mean, that would be the only reason, because let's face it, these guys are going to be doing, the lawn care or the contractor work, right? And they're the ones who are towing.
Yeah, so let us know what you think in the comments below.
And then the third thing
Yeah.
I was going to say is they did really kind of double or triple down on the off-roadness of their lineup, and
Yes.
and you're seeing that with the introduction
Of the GMC as well, yeah.
It's definitely the most off-road worthy, and you can tell that the two things that they released are this and the video.
Moab.
Yeah, so
They're tripling down on that. And the tire, by the way, on the ZR2, it's a 33-inch tall tire, and I'm willing to bet here, this is my guess, that this is a very similar tire, if not the same.
now are we going to have complete coverage of this when it launches?
We are.
Yeah.
So August 11th,
Yeah.
they announced the date. We have full video. I cannot say much about it, but it's going to be, all the details, everything is coming
We
very
always
soon.
have a video, so
Well, yes,
Yeah,
but
so
this is going to be...
we're going to be over this like stink on a skunk.
Yes, you can bet. You can bet that.
All right. And then if you guys are interested in all the hard work that Andre's doing, go on over to alltfl.com, because Andre's been on top of the truck news on the website. And we've got our website stuff there. We've got our TikTok stuff there. We've got our shorts there. We've got all of our videos there. So oftentimes you get emails from people saying, hey, you missed this. And I'm like, no, Andre's all over it. It's just not in a video form.
And also, Case and I actually have driven semi-trucks recently.
Yes.
So we have semi-truck coverage there as well.
Semi-trucks, huh? You guys are the big boy rigs now. All right, thanks for watching, guys. And come back August 11th when we'll have complete details.